Madden's full of annoying offenses that seem like they're impossible to stop. But I've played professional Madden for years where I've won tens of thousands of dollars and I've had to stop these annoying offenses. So throughout this video, I'm going to teach you everything I know, which is going to help you stop these offenses and take you from being a bad defensive player into turning you into an elite defensive player. I'm going to teach you how to win more games and get more stops. So let's do it. RPOs, aka one of the most annoying things in the game to try to defend. Let's talk 3 easy ways to slow these down. First and foremost, the first way, we're going to call a cover 3 or a cover 4, I don't care which. We're going to press Y or triangle and then go down on the right stick. That's going to create a hard flat. Now, we're going to take, on the RPO side, we're going to take that hard flat defender and manually move him in like this right here. Essentially, we want to get him above the wide receiver who's going to go on this RPO. And you can see that RPO is completely bagged. This is consistent as well. Again, we have the guy who's in the flat. We're shading underneath. We're just going to move him inside, and this is going to give him essentially a free release on the RPO bubble. It's going to be really easy to stop it from here. The next way we can do this is using any style of defense here. We'll call it Tampa 2 in this case. We're going to take a defender who's starting off on the inside, so we'll use Knight right here. I'm going to man him up onto the RPO receiver. So that's going to be A or X on PlayStation, up on the right stick, and I'm going to man him up like you see right here. Watch what happens. I snap this ball. He's going to jet out there, and he's able to go try to make the tackle. All right? Now, keep in mind that if you do this man up from all the way in here, he's just in a bad alignment. So you want this guy to be kind of outside like this right here. So method number 1 was to simply move a flat defender inside. Method number 2 is to man up an inside defender on the RPO receiver. By the way, if the RPO guy was the outside wide receiver, I'll just man him up instead. Now, the next way we can do this is simply by calling man coverage. Any kind of man coverage play, we're just going to have player on player across the board. And so what's going to happen here is that you see on the right side, we just have hat on hat, player on player. And when we call this RPO, we're going to get typically a pretty free release. Keep in mind, with man coverage, sometimes though, your players will actually kind of bump into each other. And it could result in the man defender getting behind like that right there. So that is one thing to note with the man coverage method. But that is 3 easy ways to slow down RPOs. Read options are a type of gotcha play that just drive me crazy when I'm trying to play defense. So here's an easy way to slow them down. You need to do this at the beginning of each and every game. When we're on defense, before we even choose a play, what we're going to do is click the right stick in. That's going to bring up our coaching adjustments. I want to go to option read key, put this at conservative. That's going to make our read key always play the quarterback. That's going to make sure that if they try some nonsense with the QB, with the read option, we're going to force them to hand that ball off. Right here, you see that fire icon. That's the guy who's going to be unblocked. When we do this, though, notice that the unblocked guy is going to be able to make a play on the QB. Now, if it's Lamar Jackson, he may still break that tackle, and that's tough, I'll be honest with you. But this right here will be able to slow down read options. You don't want him crashing inside because you don't want the QB keeper. Instead, you want to force him to have to hand this ball off into the teeth of the defense, and whatever happens from there is on your user and on the rest of your defense. Defending underneath is one of the biggest issues that all Madden players have on defense, and it's important that we learn how to defend underneath because it's really easy to do this right here, where I'm just going to throw a drag for easy yardage, right? You don't even need to be good on offense to do that, which is why it's so important to stop it, because we need our offensive players that we're going up against to have to be good at the game. Now, I'll show you a common mistake people make, is that when they go to defend underneath, they do too much, and, you know, they defend underneath, but then they give up a 1-play touchdown. So with this, I'm going to show you how to defend underneath while still keeping deep zone integrity, basically making sure that they can't just throw a 1-play touchdown on you. So what I first recommend, let's call an offensive play here, call cover 3 or call cover 4. Okay, that's going to be our starting point. We'll talk about Tampa 2 here in a second. But let's go cover 3 match even, all right? I don't care about the shell or anything like that right now. We're just going to cover 3 match. If we leave it at this, we're not going to do a great job of defending underneath. Drags are going to get open. Flats are going to get open. Things like that are just going to get open consistently. I don't like match coverage. I don't love just stock coverage either. So what we're going to do actually is when we get here, we're going to press Y or triangle and go down on the right stick. That's going to shade underneath. Watch what happens here. Instead of those drags being wide open, that drag is now a potential interception, and honestly, it's going to get really close to being a pick 6. Watch this again. This is going to be me doing nothing on defense. I'm going to throw Y right here. Right, we're able to throw it. We're able to get yards. That's probably happened to you. Really annoying. Instead, what we're going to do now is press Y or triangle, go down the right stick as a defensive player. That's going to create hard flats, and it's also going to make our hook curls play further underneath. And now, from this, they're not able to throw it. Now, that's actually where your user should be too, which we're going to talk about more later on in this video, but that's a basic idea. And note that I'm doing this while I'm not just giving up free touchdowns over top, we're still playing good deep zone defense. The reason I don't love cover 2 from this is because if I call something like Tampa 2, when we shade underneath, we only have 2 deep zones on the field. We can do a good job shading underneath in Tampa 2, and I will do this in the red zone and in short yardage situations, but it leaves a lot of stuff open, like potential corner routes and things like that, where it's just too easy again for the defense, or I'm sorry, for the offense. So that's why I like doing it out of a cover 3 or a cover 4, where we're going to have more deep zone integrity, and we're just going to make the offense have to be good and have to work. Now, this philosophy goes hand in hand with everything that we teach over on Civil.gg. That's my strategy website where we give out full offensive and defensive schemes that are proven to actually help you win more games. Right now, we have over 2,000 active members using our stuff, and they are winning a lot. If you want the exact play calls you should be calling on defense or on offense, go to Civil.gg, use code CIVIL30 to get 30% off, and start winning more games today. The link to that is at the top of the description. So here I have an underrated tip for you guys. I'm not going to talk about how to stop an annoying offense. Instead, I'm going to tell you what the most important player on defense is and how to use him. This is your user defender. Essentially, there's 11 players on defense. We get to control one of them. He is the most impactful player at all times. In zone defense, I recommend we user a yellow zone. In man defense, I recommend we use the guy who's manned up onto the halfback. This will give us the most freedom and the least amount of risk. Now, we have 2 things we do as a user. One, we have to defend our area of the field first, okay? So right here, you see I'm in the yellow zone on the left side. If I immediately bail on that area, well, then I'm actually being a really bad user. So first, we need to respect that. But then we need to look to help out where our defense is weak. So right here, I'm in a cover 3 with hard flats, so I know I'm a little bit weak in the intermediate areas. So what I could do here is, if I knew that the offense was looking to attack one of these areas, is that I could actually user a route that's going to get into a weak part of my defense and help defend that. So on our user, we're able to, 1, just bait routes that are going to our area, right? So right here, watch this, right? Oh, I see a slant. We're able to go make the play, get an interception. But 2, I'm able to help out where we are weak. Look at Werner right here. If he was just a CPU defender, he would only stay in this area. But because he's my user, I can go all over the place and be able to help bait different things, right? I'm down here. Now I go up here, and I'm able to help make a play on that ball. That's something that a CPU defender could not do. Additionally, your user is incredibly important in the run defense game. Actually, I would say he is the most important player when it comes to run defense, because you're able to do so many different things with him that the offensive line really just can't account for. It's an easy way to blow up and to stop a lot of run games without having to commit a lot of resources to it. Defending quick seam throws is one of the biggest and most important things you could do in Madden 26, because a lot of people that you play against will try spamming these quick throws, and honestly, they're frustrating. They're annoying. I hate playing against them. So this is how I stop them every single game. We're going to start the game by clicking the right stick in, and we're going to scroll down in our coaching adjustments into our safety depth. We're going to go 1 tick to the left on the D-pad, which will open up the close assignment, which is going to bring our safeties down to the line of scrimmage. Then we want to go safety width and put them on pinch, which is going to bring our safeties in closer together, which is going to defend the seam. So watch this right here. Now I'm going to call a cover 3 or a cover 4. I don't care which. And I'm simply going to press Y or triangle, go down the right stick. That's not even for the seams. That's to defend the underneath that we talked about earlier. Now, if I press my defense, you don't want to do this. Our safety would usually line up back here, right? And when he lines up back there, this seam is just open, right? Easy throw. But now, by letting him be in his default assignment, which is close and pinch, you see this right here, he's a little bit closer to the line of scrimmage. We try throwing this ball now. This is a tough throw, and it's just not a consistent ball that they're going to catch. Right there, they take a shot. If they want to throw that and try catching it consistently, good luck, brother, because you're just going to take hit after hit after hit. And if you mistime this, even by a moment, it is going to be a potential interception or a knockout like that. Our other tip that I'll give you, if someone's really forcing it, is going back to that user idea, where we're going to try sprinting over there and attack it with our user for a potential interception. Right there, we don't get it. Mind you, I'm using 2 controllers, so there is that. And this is just an easy way to be able to help slow that thing down. And it will honestly not just slow it down, but totally erase people trying to quick throw seams. So let's talk about how to stop the run, especially the under center runs in Madden 26, because they can be really good and they can be really annoying sometimes, okay? So first and foremost, sometimes when people go into run defense, they go super aggressive and they try blitzing everybody. And what that allows to have happen is when you go super aggressive in your run D, you can actually just let up free touchdowns, which we don't want to do. So very similar to stopping underneath routes is that we want to have the idea of forcing them to pass the ball or get them out of what they want to do without just giving them easy touchdowns in other areas. So what I recommend we do is go into a cover 3 or a cover 4 defense first and foremost. So we'll call cover 3 match right here. I'm going to press Y or triangle and go down on the right stick just to get our coverage shaded underneath. Now from here, we want a user either a linebacker or a safety. A little bit up to you. If they're really running the ball on you a lot, I want you to go on a safety. If not, we can go linebacker. And we want to start on the side opposite of where we think they're going to run. Now, from here, that would be the left side. Why? Because the strong side's to the right for the offense. So we just want to be on the left side. Your user's the most important player in run defense. Now, with that in mind, that means what we can't do with our user is get him caught up in the mush. A lot of people run straight down, and when your user gets caught up in the mush, it allows the run game to go rampant, okay, just to go crazy. So instead, we want our user to actually start maybe a little bit back on that weak side of the formation, and then look to flow over top to the ball, and then be able to cut back inside. What you're going to be able to do when you flow over top to the ball is either your user's going to be the guy who makes the tackle, okay? Or he's going to eat up a late block that's going to open up somebody else to make the tackle. So that's a huge key. If you get your user down here, he's not going to add anything to the run defense. He's going to eat up a kind of an unnecessary block, and you're not going to be using your user to the fullest potential. Now again, if you're using that high safety because they're running the ball a ton on you, note that you still want to have the same principles where you're running over top and flowing to the ball. We cannot get caught up in the mush. Something else I'll do is I'll pinch my defensive line that's left on the D-pad, down the left stick, which just looks like this right here, which is going to help us. Biggest thing always, though, is try not to get caught up in the mush and trying to flow to the ball like you see right there. You want to be patient in your run defense and allow your user to be free. If you're getting blocked a lot and you're having issues stopping the run, you're being too aggressive going downhill with your user like this right here, you have to flow over top. I highly recommend you rewatch this segment and watch the actual steps that my user's taking, because almost always we're going to start out horizontally and then flow over top like this. We're able to make tackles and get them in the loss and where they have to pass the ball. Again, all while running a basic stock coverage defense where if they try passing, they're going to have to actually make good reads, which is going to play into our advantage. We're not just going to give them free touchdowns or free yardage. Corner routes are one of the peskiest things to defend in Madden every single year. This is what I want you to defend corners. First, I want you to click the right stick in. Let's go into our coaching adjustments. Let's scroll down into our zone drop curl flats, and we're going to put these at 20. You may need to adjust them slightly, but I think 20 is a really good starting point. Remember, we can do all the other coaching adjustments you talked about earlier, like safety depth close and safety width pinch, but that's not the point of this here. Let's go into a cover 3. I don't care which. We're going to call cover 3 match right here. Let's go cover 3, and now I'm going to shade my coverage underneath. Wire triangle, down the right stick. Then, this by itself will not do it, okay? What happens if we just do this by itself? Well, the shade underneath, we're going to have this corner route get open on the sideline, right? Good dot, bada boom, bada bing. Cool. What we're going to do instead is we're going to shade our coverage underneath. Then we're going to take a linebacker or a defender on that side that we think the corner route's going to go to. We're going to press A on him, then go right on the left stick to create a curl flat on that side. When we do this, that'll get that curl flat going about 20 yards upfield. And now, watch what happens here to defend this corner route. I can even stem this corner route all the way down. This corner route is now officially bagged. You cannot throw this. This should be an interception pretty much every single time. That's purely the CPU playing it too. So our user is able to do whatever he wants in the middle of the field. This also works for a corner route from the outside wide receiver as well if you wanted to, right? You have that option. Again, we're just going to shade our coverage underneath, put a curl flat on that side, snap the ball, and watch what happens here. Even if you throw this bad boy quick, you're able to get that. And that's without even clicking on. This will defend corner routes easily. Curl flats to 20, shade your coverage underneath, and in cover 3, you could do it from cover 4, I guess. Then put a curl flat on that side. Easy way. If you got value from this video, you'll get a ton of value from our website, civil.gg. Join over 2,000 active members. Click the link in the top description. Use code CIVIL30 and get everything you need to play lockdown defense, which is going to win you more games.